We are live. Good afternoon. I've got Dan with me, and he's chosen a song that I haven't played for ages. So, well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things that you're doing. In my head, I made a picture. Since I've come on home, well, my body's feeling better. I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. There we go. Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm all right. Thanks for inviting me along for this, Ashley.
Well, no, thanks very much for jumping in so quickly.
No problem. No problem.
So, yeah, we met. We only met on Saturday, didn't we?
I know, it's like a whirlwind romance, isn't it?
Absolutely. And
you've heard about it as well.
And you've shaved for the occasion as well. When I saw you last week, you were covered in fuzz. Anyway, we're going out of time here. My first question always is, why did you choose that song?
Well, I like the Zootons. I've seen them live a couple of times back in I can't say my youth. That's not quite true. I was a young adult, but I missed my ginger hair.
As I was playing the song, I nearly made a crack then, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that's so funny."
That is why.
That is so funny. You love that song because you miss your ginger hair. I love it. I love it. I love it. We've got Sue Reeve joining us today. Hi, Sue. How are you?
Hello, Sue.
Thanks for coming along. So, Dan Hobbs, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. Well, I'm a software developer. I have been developing web applications since the last millennium because I'm old enough to, and they were pretty new. Amazon was an online bookshop that had just started when I was writing my first web applications. They've changed a little bit since then.
Do you reckon that will catch on though? People buying things online?
Early days.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed solving problems, and as I've gone through my career, it's turned out that I've always been pretty good at listening to people with the real business problems and converting them into technical solutions, working out what the best option is, because often it's an option they haven't thought of themselves. And I love it, puts a smile on my face when people tell me that using my software makes them happy, or they enjoy using it, because that's my buzz.
Yeah, that is absolutely superb. And I'll tell you what my buzz is. My buzz, right? Hi, Johan. My buzz is when people like Johan give me a shout out on their podcast because they like what I do. So back at you, man. Back at you. So thank you very much indeed. So it's raining today.
It was Mauritius Johan was in last week, wasn't it?
It was Mauritius last time. And it's rainy Scotland. So yeah, good to see you. You're going to be interested in this chat today, Johan, because Dan's an interesting guy. Glad to hear you're okay, Sue. And Pavel, you might want to connect with this guy. He's a genius. Anyway, less about the genius. Let's ask you a few questions about LinkedIn. So, do you do much on LinkedIn?
I do a moderate amount on LinkedIn, I would say. I try and come on every morning while I'm having my first cup of tea or my breakfast or whatever, and do a bit of commenting on whatever I'm seeing there that's interesting. I try not to do too much doom scrolling. I just connect with the people who are interesting, so they are invariably accountants and bookkeepers and marketers around that kind of space, and that's what I'm just living this accounting and bookkeeping app. So it really just suits me to be talking about that all the time on other people's posts.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it? Is mixing with the right people, and you can really do that on LinkedIn. You start building this little community, and these are the people that are joining in with the conversation today and watching today. I just love LinkedIn for the community. Do you use any other platforms, social media wise, then, Dan?
I got into Facebook around about the same time as everyone else did, I suppose, so about 10, 12 years ago. And I use it a little bit, but I don't really use it for business. I've got a page, don't really use anything. I know I should repost my LinkedIn posts on there just to reuse that content because it would be so little effort. And one day I will, but right now I'm just focusing on LinkedIn for my communications and marketing and just doing the app, either developing it or I do weekly live streams with my little gang like Sue, who's here to cheer me on.
Right. Okay. Hi, Sue. So live streaming. Here we are. We're doing live streaming. How is it? How is it for you?
It's all right. I mean, it's one of those things where I started a business and I just looked around at the landscape of how you would run a small business, and I thought I've got to do video. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable, but I've got to learn to be comfortable. And I've been doing those weekly live streams now for over a year, and I'm absolutely fine with it. I mean, I know I'm doing it in a very safe environment. I do it to my website and I give people a link. I send a link to my email list. So it's only my gang who look at it. It's very safe. But oh my God, I'm out there today, aren't I? This is
yeah, absolutely. This is the biggest show on LinkedIn. There's 10 million people watching. Well, maybe 2 or 3. But this is the thing, right? It is all about the video. And if we do more video, people feel that they know us. So I'm going to give a shout out to Merlin and Vishali. So hi there. So Vishali, right? Vishali, she popped. I went to the digital accountancy show last year, and she saw me on the platform, and she came over and she said hello. I didn't know her. We've never met, but we got on like a house on fire, and that is all because she had seen some of my videos. It just builds up an amazing relationship with people. And makes it so much easier for when people meet you or you work with them. You are building up that know, like, and trust. And so if anyone's watching or listening today and you should do videos, just have a go. Have a go.
I would 100% endorse that. And I'll give you an example, actually. Although it's in a safe space and I only tell my email list, somebody looked at one of my lives and within about a minute of watching it, they heard the way I was talking and said, I want to work with him.
Yeah.
From me doing a video that they got the recording of.
Yeah. And we've just got to step outside of that comfort zone. And so you just saw me play that song. I learned that during lockdown because I was doing a live stream every single day during my lunch hour because we weren't allowed to walk and go outside of our garden or anything. So I did that. And by doing that, it's given me the confidence to just do all the other things that I'm doing now, which is how you met me at the weekend. I was doing a conference. So, yeah, absolutely fine. So Sue and Vishali are just having a private little natter amongst themselves now. So, Vishali, you're saying that you and I are great friends now, aren't you? That's how it all works, isn't it? So look at these amazing people having. Carry on. I love this. You're
bringing people together.
Absolutely. Creating a safe space. Do you post regularly on LinkedIn? Are you more around the commenting, Dan?
I am more around the commenting. I've got my approach to LinkedIn is I try and post every week, and if I post once a week, I'm happy. If I post twice a week, I'm also happy. I did a month recently where I wanted to get enough information out about my app so that people could make a decision about whether they wanted to talk to me about it. So I posted every day for 4 weeks, and that went really well. I got into a rhythm. I did post a bit too much dry information. I didn't mix it up enough. So I've learned that lesson. But I got people to talk to me, and I've made more connections, and I hope I've found more clients that I'm going to work with long term through it. So it's something that worked, and I'm really glad I did it. Put it that way. Really
absolutely. And the thing is, right, is you start putting stuff out, people start to get to know you and start to really understand you. And when people come on my training workshops, I say to them, just try for once a week, because if you can post once a week, right, you are creating more content than 99% of people on LinkedIn. How incredible is that?
Yeah.
When you look at it like that, absolutely amazing. Right, come on then. Let's forget about social media and stuff like that. I want to know about Banana Brains. Who sets a business up and calls it Banana Brains, Dan?
It's only me so far, I think.
Okay, well done.
Thanks. Once I wanted something to be quirky. I've had this domain for about 20 odd years, knowing that I would do something at some point with my best mate, as we said at the time. As it is, he's now gone off all around the world. He's in Tamworth right now, funnily enough, but I'm seeing him on Saturday because I'm going to football with him, and then I'm going to a Miles Hunt gig in Bedford. But he lives in Denver, so I didn't do a business with him. I'm doing it all on my own, and so it's worked out well. It's a bit of luck, really, that a quirky name that I picked up years ago is now my online identity, if you like.
So Sue thinks it's because you're bananas that you called it Banana Brains and no other reason.
Maybe. Sue and I are very good friends, so she does know me well. So you'll have to just take her word for it.
Take it with a pinch of salt and bananas. Now, tell me, do you eat bananas?
I do.
Oh, that's all right, because my daughter hates bananas. So whenever we talk about bananas, or I make my famous banana cake, she just doesn't like that.
She would hate me, wouldn't she?
So come on then, tell us, what is this Banana Brains app that you've developed?
Yeah, well, the app itself I'm calling Simplified Systems, and the whole point of it is there is a lot of absolutely fabulous tech out there for accountants and bookkeepers, in fact, for all kinds of business software, but sometimes it gets a few too many bells and whistles on it, and you look at the screen and there's a lot of noise going on. There's too much, and it is the case that in some practices, some staff won't use the software because they just find it too hideous to use. Now, that's another discussion, but my aim is to produce something that is one tab of your browser, or on your phone, an app on your phone, and you can do all your daily jobs in one place, and it's all nicely integrated. You don't have to worry about Zapier. You don't have to worry about whether this app talks to that app. So that's it, really. Simplifying it right down so that it's click, 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 and you've done your job and you feel good about it. I said right at the start that my buzz is when people say they enjoy using what I've written. That's what I'm aiming for. I want to make the people who are using my software happy.
Perfect. So you're trying to build the holy grail of software accounting for software for accountants?
Well, I started off as running a small business myself, and I said, well, a small business needs to do marketing, sending out invoices, taking payments, running an email list, all of that kind of stuff. And then the people who were interested in it were accountants and bookkeepers. So the remit expanded somewhat, but now I'm doing proposals and getting electronic signatures and taking payments as well. So it's a big old chunk to bite off, but I'm working in collaboration with some people who are helping me, who believe in what I'm doing. And yeah, I know it's been referred to as the Holy Grail, but
yeah. Right. As we discussed the other day, I was involved in that. Pavel is a genius like yourself. He does this sorts of stuff. Great comment there, Pavel. People are forgetting that all the bells and whistles carry the training, implementation, learn to use cost. So a good abstraction of important stuff is just as precious so much. Yeah. So yeah, great point there, Pavel. What would you say to that, Dan?
Yeah, I would. I mean, a lot of the time you don't need those things. So what I think is some clients of mine will need some bells and whistles, but others won't want to see them. So I'm not going to clutter up everyone's screen with the bells and whistles if 99% of people don't want it, and I'll just do it for the one. Because one of the other things I'm doing is I'm trying to be semi-bespoke. So I'm writing most of these modules so that they work in a way that me and the crowd think, that's my gang, we think it should work this way. But if someone says, I want to do it slightly different, I'll tweak it just for them and I'll hide it on everyone else's screen. So it's a lot of work, I know, but it's an ongoing project which will evolve, and some bells and whistles will sneak in, but only for the people who want them. That's my aim.
Yeah, fair enough. And the thing is, I had somebody come to me when I was with this other company, and they said, I don't want all these bells and whistles and all these amazing stuff. I want you to just make something that works. And basically, this guy wanted a prescript so that he puts his client in here, then he does that, then he does that, then he does that, then he does that. But with the way that the accounting space is, so many people do it all differently, and they're sort of like, oh, I use this for this and I use that for that. And how do you cope with that, Dan?
Well, there are loads of different ways of doing it. And like I said, there is absolutely amazing technology out there already for accountants. Some people say to me, well, why are you bothering? That problem's been solved already. But, it hasn't. There's lots of different ways, lots of ways of different doing things. My approach is different. It's more personal. It's more about human to human conversation. And if we have a discussion about the order of the script is slightly different to how we've done it so far, then we work out how we can change it. And so, I mean, a good example is onboarding a client, where do you send the letter of engagement with the proposal or after they've accepted the proposal and you've done your risk assessment and some AML checks? Different people want to do those in slightly different ways. I did, Johan's watching this, I saw him talking about how he got an inspection and got fined because of things being out of order. So I will try and cater for how people want to do it, and I'll give them the best advice that I've got that I know, like such as the CCAB guidance on those kind of things.
So a quick analogy just going through my brain when you said that is, I can buy a motor car today, and I can drive it at 100 miles an hour, but it's illegal on the roads in the UK. So why would you make a car that comes to the UK capable of doing 100 miles an hour? And it's all that sort of thing, isn't it? So they've made it so that it can do that, but I've got to drive it how I want to drive it. You could even reduce it so that it doesn't go over 70, but I can still do 70 in a built-up area. So there has to be some element of self-control, I suppose. And I guess that's what you're doing with your software, because some packages don't let you do this because that's not the way to do it. But sometimes you have to go over 70 miles an hour. As
programmers, we can do whatever we want. So if you want to drive it at 100 miles an hour, and I will say to you, actually, you really shouldn't be driving this at 100 miles an hour, but you're adamant that you want to do it, I will make it so you can drive at 100 miles an hour whilst advising you that you shouldn't drive it that fast.
Yeah,
I mean, I imagine your driving's pretty good, but still, that's pretty reckless. But
yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And so sometimes on software, you sort of like, you understand, and then you click a button to then go somewhere. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes you have to do this before that, but other times you just got to do it. And there's nothing more frustrating than, oh, really do I have to do that? So the fact that you've recognized that and you offer that service is absolutely superb. So you're developing this software, you're looking after your gang. So I guess they're getting a proper hand-holding sort of relationship with you and stuff like that. How many hours are you working a week, Dan?
Most of them.
Oh, right. Okay.
Most of them. I'm working a heck of a lot at the moment, and I see it that going on for quite a while yet, because there's a lot more functionality that has to go into the app before the clients will be happy and stop asking for new stuff. When the requests for new stuff die down, then I can calm down a little bit. But the way I'm working is the way I see myself working ongoing anyway, and just maybe reducing a bit when I sort of semi-retire in a few million years. Well, that's how it seems at the moment. So I do weekly live streams where people can, it's a workshop idea where people come and either ask questions about how to do stuff in the app, tell me how they would like it to work, and we have perhaps a collaboration in the room with whoever's there about how it should work. And I go away and develop that. I have one-to-ones in the meantime where they're needed for people, and then we come back to the next workshop and it's like, this is an update on where we are. And so I intend to do that every week, ongoing, really.
And this gang then are a special select few that are early adopters. Is that right? I couldn't go and buy the software today.
If you wanted to join the elite, because they're all absolutely fabulous people. Actually, I'm really lucky. That again is talking about LinkedIn marketing, where I've put enough of my personality out there that people have believed in me and have been drawn to me, and they wanted to work with me or wanted to at least check me out. So I've done a good job there with the marketing and projecting myself. But if you wanted to join, I could set you up as an example. That I'm starting the beta program for real next week, actually. And there are 2 or 3 spaces, depending on whether the 10th person does sign up. But yeah, I'm limiting it to 12 just so I don't get too many opinions and make my life too difficult. I want to do a good job for a very small number of people.
Yeah,
so I'm going to run with that small beta group for 6 months, and then I'm going to do another post every day for a month launch for looking for another 12 to expand it and run for another 6 months, and then proper launch of a mature app next year. But obviously, you get some benefits by joining now.
Yeah, absolutely superb. We've pretty much run out of time. In a nutshell, then, I want you to sum up what this app is going to do for my accounting practice.
It is going to simplify their lives, because they won't be thinking, right, which app do I need to use for this part of my day? They just go into the app and the menu's there. They click on the button and they're in, and they know what to do. The workflow is simple, because I'm calling it simplified systems for a good reason. So that's what I'm hoping for. It's going to bring joy into their lives. They will enjoy using technology rather than be fighting against it, because the technology has been bent to how they want to work.
I love that. I love that. So where do you see simplified systems in 5 years' time then, Dan?
My aim is to provide this bespoke service for not a massive number of clients. I'm looking for 50 to 100 clients. That's my aim today. I know it might change, and I might have to think about taking someone on if more people are interested. But really, I want to give Rolls-Royce service to a small number of clients who in return love me because I listen to them, and I give them a system that does exactly what they want.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's absolutely superb. So we're not looking at making bucket loads of money and then doing a fast exit, and then the new company deciding that they don't want to keep the technology going. It's a proper service.
I'm the exact opposite of that, because I've told you I've been doing this for 25 years. I want to carry on doing this for 25 years, and I'm building something so that I can do it my way. And my way, well, I've laid it out for you, haven't I? This is how I want to operate. And I want to give a really good experience for a small number of people who like me, because that's how it works, isn't it? I want to be friends with these people. We'll have social events. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, super duper. And Sue's screaming loudly that she loves your lives. So yeah, no, that is lovely to hear. I've got one more question, but before I do that, I just want to pop in and let us know who we've got coming in next week. Another technology type person's coming in next week. She's developed something that uses home automation. So Caroline will be coming and joining me next week, talking about that amazing solution that is helping elderly relatives have automation in their houses and setting things up like that. So no, absolutely superb. I love Pavel's closing comment. Very wise approach, and shows where the real value exists and can be added. Yeah, we don't all need 10,000 clients. Right, my final question to you, Dan Hobbs, and thank you so much for being such a great guest today. What tip would you give your 16-year-old self? My 16-year-old self? Well, he's got absolutely loads of ginger hair. Maybe don't get too attached to that. I would say I would tell myself to just perhaps push myself a little bit more and believe in myself a little bit more. But otherwise, carry on. Because obviously I did the right things. I was just a bit slow with some of them, slow to push myself. Believe in myself a bit more. Believe in yourself. That's a great advice. Dan, thank you so much for coming on today. Lovely to chat with you. When we get the next iteration and it's all working, you have to come back on my show and let us know how it's all going. Thank you to your gang and to everybody else that's got lovely comments today. We will see you again next time. So thanks, Dan. Thank you, Ashley. Cheerio, everybody. Bye-bye. You get out what you put in, never gonna